Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami.
Nithyananda to all the viewers that are joining us through various different social media platforms, through Facebook, through YouTube, and also all the MahaParamashivoham participants who have been sitting here with us. How are you all doing? Today we are going to be going through a very interesting topic. And yesterday we all saw about the revival that the Supreme Court of Hinduism was doing for temples, the temple revival. We saw how amazingly he goes on the ground and does things from scratch. We saw that yesterday. And today we are going to be looking into another revival that the Supreme Court of Hinduism is doing, which is the revival of ancient Hindu sacred art, the divine Renaissance, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, from the age of 3, he has been so proactively working on this. You all know, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, our Guru, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivoham, whom we lovingly refer to as Swamiji, is the world's largest collector of deities, Hindu deities. And we have the deities made through so many different materials. And note this, all these deities are made exactly as per their agamas. What are agamas? How are these made? We are going to be taking you through all of these things. Today is going to be very interesting because we are also going to share some of the insider photos with all of you, just so that you can have an idea about what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been continuously working on.
And there's a very popular quote that Swamiji says, which goes as, "Books and deities made Nithyananda." From a very young age, Swamiji has been passionate in his revival of the glorious past of Hinduism. From his very young age, Swamiji has been keen, working hard to revive and to re-establish the glorious past that we had. Yesterday, we all saw one dimension of it, one aspect of it. Talking about the temples of Hinduism, we saw how these temples are built and how the whole revival is happening. And today, we're going to see one of the integral and important part of a temple, which are the deities in a temple. And we're going to be seeing that, we're going to be learning about it, and we're going to be seeing how Swamiji is reviving this exact dimension so beautifully through Kailasa's Nithyananda Sacred Arts University. This is going to be something very interesting and something very exciting.
And you can also actually see the way how Swamiji has been working on this tirelessly. There have been so many days, even after beginning his public life, after establishing centers internationally, worldwide. Swamiji, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, stays in the shed where the carving of the deities are done, and where the sculptor sits and carves. Swamiji goes to that shed, and Swamiji stayed there for almost a week till the deities were completed. Swamiji ate just 2 idlis, sharing that with the sculptor, sat there, did the sculpting along with him, did the carving along with him, and made sure the deity is completed. Swamiji slept there and did everything staying in that shed. Swamiji's passion for reviving this, it didn't start from when Swamiji was in his 20s, nor in his teenage. Swamiji's this passion started when he was just 3 years old. actually much younger than that, we have an evidence of Swamiji taking up the Chaturmasya and performing all of these things from his age of 3. We have photographic evidence of it. But when Swamiji's passion started was from the time Swamiji assumed this body. When all of us are busy playing with different toys and cars or Barbie dolls, when we are very young, like 2 or 3, and you're toddlers, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, from the time he assumed this body, he was playing with deities, making deities, doing alankar for the deities, meaning offering clothes, making the clothes for them, jewelry for them, and offering rituals, puja. All of this is what was Swamiji's childhood filled with. That is why you can see the deities that Swamiji worshipped from his young age, from the time he was a toddler. Swamiji always played, did puja, worshipped, and connected, lived with these deities. We still have these deities in the sovereign archives. So today we are going to be sharing this with all of you. We are going to be taking you through a set of pictures and some information to show you, to present to you the tireless hard work that Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, has been doing.
Deities have always been an integral part of Kailasa, of Hinduism itself. How we can experience through them, how we can experience the higher dimensions. Deities have always been an important part of every Hindu's life, because it is deities that act as a channel for us to connect to the highest conscious dimensions, for us to experience enlightenment, for us to experience divinity. So, how exactly does the process of this deity work? Like, how exactly the deities are made, and what is the importance of it? And can deities help you connect to the higher dimensions? Yes, because the science of deities is something unique to Hinduism, powerful, which is what Hinduism introduced to the world. Because deities can connect you to the highest dimensions of yourself.
This is my vision. Every Sarvanyapita, whether Oklahoma Temple, Kailasa in Toronto, Kailasa in Seattle, Kailasa in Houston, Kailasa in Los Angeles, Kailasa in Australia, Kailasa in Malaysia, for every Sarvanyapita and Kailasas, this is my vision. Every morning, you should invite people without caste, creed, difference. You should invite all beings. Involve them in the ritual. Understand? Our temples are installed. Prana Pratishta is done in such a way. The Utsava Murtis, you can make people offer milk, water on their own. You can make them offer milk, water on their own. Involve them in the rituals, sacred rituals. And every day or every other day we are having some festival. Hinduism is religion of festivals. Today is Dhanteras. Tomorrow is Amavasya, Deepavali. Amavasya and Deepavali together this time. Then day after tomorrow we have some other function. Then the next day Skanda Shashti Brahmotsavam starts. And I think maybe day after tomorrow itself Skanda Shashti will start. Then 6 days Skanda Shashti Brahmotsavam. Then after the Skanda Shashti, immediately the Paramashiva Brahmotsavam will start. Kartiki Deepam. Hinduism is tradition of festivals and celebrations and rituals. Understand? It's my vision. Every day You should invite all the local VIPs, important persons from the field of art, science, education, politics, in every field. Invite the VIPs. Invite important people. Make them participate in the morning satsang. Make them do rituals. Make them part of the rituals. Inspire them. Once you connect them to the deities, they will start enjoying Hinduism. I tell you, even our so-called Hindu devotees got introduced to Hinduism to deities after I started introducing. Our Adinavasis and devotees, they say, Swamiji, first thing, we came to know about Hinduism only through you. And we started enjoying deities and connecting with the deities only after connecting with you. Deities are the best way to enrich people, and deities are the best way people can connect to the space of Kailasa immediately.
Deities are literally alive. Deities are a powerful science. Today, we are going to be talking about the Nithyananda Sacred Arts University, where thousands of deities produced and shared, where Hinduism is revived in its authentic manner by Swamiji. Kailasa's Nithyananda Sacred Arts University is a revival by Swamiji with the vision to preserve, revive, and spread the Vedic temple arts. End to end, Swamiji says beautifully, if a random person walks in and says, I want to start a temple, we should be able to provide to him end to end everything that is needed to build a temple, whether it is deities, pillars, scriptures, how-tos, do's and don'ts of a temple, the ways to run the temple, and also the items required to do the rituals and to be able to give him the jewelry for the deities, clothes for the deities, and also training to do the alankaram, abhishekam, puja, and rituals end to end. It should be a complete package given to that person. With this vision, Swamiji started the Nithyananda Sacred Arts University. What Swamiji started as a 3-year-old boy, as a young boy playing with deities playfully, today has grown into the world's largest collection of Hindu deities, the authentic Hindu sculptures. Now, Nithyananda Sacred Arts University is that wing of Kailasa, that ministry of Kailasa, through which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving, re-establishing the entire Vedic arts and the science of deity making and how the temples are made. Everything Swamiji is reviving and re-establishing through this.
Temple-based arts, architecture, is a science based on the perfect frameworks of the cosmic laws, the cosmic geometry. And you'll always see all the temples, all our viewers. How many of you have been to any ancient Hindu temple? Any Hindu temple? The first and the foremost thing that you would have noticed is mind-boggling, fascinating symmetry. Right? The proportion, the sophisticated mathematical principles that are involved in this. The temples, the sculptures, everything is built as per the cosmic geometry. And that's why you will see some of the most fascinating, miraculous things, what we call as miracles, but what our ancestors lived as a science. We will be seeing it in these temples. For example, you go to, even in Madurai, we have the musical pillars. We have so many such phenomenal things. Like example, you go to Lepakshi temple, you see hanging pillars over there. We see floating deities. All of these fascinating things that we see are because everything that is done are based on precise cosmic geometry.
And understand, it is because we had this science, we had this advanced science of architecture to this day, thousands of years later, also, still nobody is able to beat the type of architecture. Can anybody replicate that kind of a temple that Tanjore temple is? The best part here is it was built thousands of years ago without the use of any modern machinery. How is it possible? There are temples that are built on a single rock, just a monolith type, which is built in a huge, gigantic manner, which still to this day nobody is able to replicate. We have the tallest temple tower in India, the Sri Lankan temple tower, which has stood earthquakes. The foundation is so strong, still people are not able to comprehend. The Tanjore temple is something that baffles the world of science to this day because they do not understand how some heavy, like it's some few 100-ton rock, which is going and sitting on top of a roof, how did they shift it without any kind of equipments whatsoever? How did we have the carving of stones in such a way that just by tapping on them you can hear different notes of music, different chords of music, different instruments? We have so many wonders in Hinduism. But unfortunately, the truth or the reality that is staring in front of us today is that even Hindus, even if you want to know about it, even if you want to build a temple like that, we do not have access to these authentic sciences.
And we need to know, like, a very important point in this is all these are very, very scientific. Extremely scientific. That is why it's very important for us to know about these sacred science.
And that is why the temples are revered as the miniature of the cosmos. Every aspect of the temple arts, from the size, shape, material, structure, density, the size of the halls, pillars, courtyards, the facing direction to the process of installing the deity, the art forms used. All of these are revealed in our scriptures. For example, Stapatya Veda, Vastu Shastra, or Shilpa Shastra. Like we can see here, a very beautiful verse from the Shilpa Shastra, the Rig Veda, Maitreya Brahmana. Shilpam hasvinnadhigamyate ya evam veda yadeva shilpani atma samskritirvava shilpani chandoyam va eteryajamana atmanam samskurute. This says Shilpani, the works of art of man, is the imitation of the divine forms. By employing their rhythms, the artisans metrically reconstitute and interpret the limitless knowledge of the sacred hymns from the limits of the human ability. And actually, every one of you that are watching this, Swamiji's revival of this, the modern architecture has still so much to catch up with what the Vedic architecture is. To this day, many of these modern architectures are not able to comprehend or understand what exactly, how advanced the structures that our Hindu ancestors have built have been. Swamiji's vision with this sacred arts is to procure, collect, traditionally make, preserve temple arts, temple traditions, and cultural heritage. This vision of Swamiji's, which Swamiji started as a young boy, today has grown into a large university, a factory through which Swamiji is producing temples. And this Sacred Arts University also provides livelihood training to Stapatis, the generations of temple architects who preserve the rare temple sciences. I wanted to share a very important fact here. Did you know the people who knew the science of making Navapashana, which is mixing the 9 types of poisons in the right proportion to form a very powerful medicine and making sculptures through that. That science is almost lost now because the future generations of those tapatis are not ready to take up. Most of these people have gone to US, they've continued their education, they want to get into, a software company, they want to do engineering. And because Hindus are made to feel bad, ashamed of being Hindus, today we have lost many of these sciences. If not for Swamiji, who took the responsibility solely on himself to revive these losing traditions, today we will not have these extraordinary sciences even alive. While this science is depleting, Swamiji got this tapatis, revived this science by making the Navapashana Linga in the Adi Kailash, in the kingdom of Adi Kailash in Bidadi. And today we have that Navapashana Linga standing. We have a lot of you sitting here with us, right? We have more than 300 of you sitting here, and there are many of you that are watching us live on YouTube. I have a question to ask you all. How many of you here have visited temple? Can you all wave your hands? How many of you here have been to temples at least once? You've seen temples? Okay, I can see Mama Hima. I can see so many of you waving your hands.
And how many of you have seen, like what we are sharing, how many of you have seen these things?
How many of you seen the sculptures, the carving? How many of you have seen the beauty, the magnificence of these temples? Isn't it baffling to see how these people, without any of the modern machineries, have mastered the art of creating these extraordinary sculptures without using any of these modern equipments?
Actually, we encourage even all the participants, you all can come to the YouTube live and you can post in the comment section. You can, I'm seeing many of you are responding here, you're waving your hands. If you want to post, please come on the comment section on YouTube, and we have a live stream over there, and you can post what you have seen. How amazing sculptures have you seen? The science that we have in Sanatana Hindu Dharma, Swamiji very beautifully says that this is the greatest science of Hinduism. Hinduism is not just a religion, it's a lifestyle. It's the greatest science of Hinduism. And that's why we see, like yesterday we were learning about how temple is literally like the main center for everything, be it like functioning as a university, or be it functioning as even a clinic, or functioning as an entertainment place, or of course for worshiping, for scientific research and development. Everything was centered on the temple. We saw about this. And today, now, we are going to go into this temple arts, the sacred arts, how Swamiji has revived it. And actually, if you notice, the spelling of the Sacred Arts University is with a C, because the vision of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is to make this into a small city, a huge city, functioning completely based on these sacred sciences.
And here are some of the pictures that you are seeing. The pictures that you're all seeing here are the revival process of these. Sacred Arts University is functioning as a full-fledged, literally like a factory, which is producing deities end to end, anything that is required to make a temple, run a temple, everything is produced here.
To be taking you through the kind of steps, like what are all the different steps that are involved in making of these deities. What are these deities? How are these deities made? We are going to see that, because one thing we need to understand here is how the whole science of the making of the deities has been revived by Swamiji from, like how we saw say temples, like how Swamiji is in the ground level doing everything from scratch. The same thing, Swamiji has been doing all of these things from scratch, micromanaging every single bit.
So the Sacred Arts University, the vision with which Swamiji has started this. Today, Sacred Arts University is full-fledged running and sustaining so many temples around the globe. The deities produced in Sacred Arts University has been distributed to so many temples around the world. And the vision with which Swamiji established this to procure, collect, traditionally make these deities, preserve the temple arts, the traditions and culture, and also to spread the temple arts architecture in its highest form as a celebrative lifestyle of peace, bliss, as per the authentic scriptures. And today, this revival of Swamiji stands gloriously declaring to the world about the extraordinary contributions that Hinduism has. Today, Sacred Arts University, in its 25 years of work under the direct guidance of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, has produced more than 562 deities, which weighs more than 17,325 kgs. This is just the metal, which is inclusive of the Panchaloha, the 5 sacred metals, and stone deities, the granite stone deities, which are 2,674 in number, over 1.7 million kgs. The next is marble. We have produced around 482 marble deities, which are 96,400 kgs in numbers. Wood, which is 261 deities. We have produced vehicles, thrones, chariots, full-fledged to run a temple end to end. And apart from this, also jewelry and decoration, authentic silver work, gold work done as per the Agamas. Hinduism has everything in detail, right from what you need to use to measure, how you need to take the measurement, what type of mud you should use, what type of metals you should use. Everything is described very, very detailedly in our Agamas. And Swamiji pays attention to every minute detail that can be seen as a result through the Sacred Arts University, the accomplishments and the revival of the Sacred Arts University. Here we can see we can begin to see with the stone work being done through the Sacred Arts University.
And how did this whole thing start? Swamiji was just 9 years old when Swamiji initiated this huge project. Today, the accomplishments of which are skyrocketing. So we will tell you about how this started. Swamiji was just 9 years old when Swamiji got the darshan of Devi Parashakti at the Unnamalai Amman Sannidhi in Tiruvannamalai, Swamiji's birthday. And this was on the day of Navaratri. After that grand, auspicious darshan, immediately Swamiji came home and took a soapstone and carved the darshan that Swamiji had exactly, very, very beautifully. Swamiji was just 9 years old without any proper training or anything like that. Swamiji himself carved this deity. All of you can see the deity is still there today. This is the first of many thousands of the stone deities that have been made and produced by the Sacred Arts, the Nithyananda Sacred Arts University.
And actually, each of the pictures that we are seeing is a testimony in itself. When Swamiji has established this whole Kailasa, it is not that overnight it just happened. It is years of hard work. Starting as a young age of 3, Swamiji started his life. What would we all be doing in 3? probably one, like, I don't even know, we'll be playing with toys. We will be like just learning things, picking up things from the society. From the young age of 3, Swamiji has been clear with his mission, committed, dedicated, hardworking, and ready to sacrifice anything to achieve this mission of reviving a Hindu nation for all us Hindus. This can be seen just if you visit Swamiji's childhood. From as a young boy of 3-year-old, Swamiji started making kattamurti. Swamiji started doing alankars. Swamiji started worshipping, doing puja, and reviving the sacred arts university. We can see here the deity of Parashakti that Swamiji had carved. Today, this is what stands as a whole department, a whole sacred arts university that is reviving, carving all of these authentic sculptures as per Hinduism. We can see here what started as a young boy of 9 years old. Here still Swamiji is as excited, and we can see Swamiji himself personally with the deities micromanaging every bit of how it is done.
And one of the most unique and phenomenal thing that Swamiji is doing is also reviving many indigenous traditions and giving life, supporting many indigenous communities. One of the most endangered communities is the Vishwakarma community. This Vishwakarma community have all the Sthapatis. Sthapatis are the people, the sect of people who traditionally built these temples. And they did the temple architecture and they carved the deities. All of these things were done by these Sthapatis and the people who belong to the Vishwakarma community. Now, unfortunately, we were seeing last few days, we have been presenting like the different persecutions that Hindus have been faced. So as a result of this Holocaust, and even to this day, because Hindus ourselves are being literally made to be ashamed that we are a Hindu, and our identity is literally taken away from us because of all this persecution, the Holocaust that every Hindu community has been faced with. The Vishwakarma community has been endangered and now on the verge of extinction. Barely, there are just a few hundred families that are even alive who do not have the next generation that are ready to continue this legacy forward. Because of that, Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, has taken up a huge responsibility on his shoulders to revive this indigenous tradition back to life. For this, Swamiji has been providing the livelihood for so many Thapati families, the families of the indigenous community of the Vishwakarma.
If not for Swamiji, these sciences would have been lost. Every step of what a Stapati's task is outlined in our Vedas and Agamas, called the Stapatya Agamas. And here we can see Swamiji's personal collection of these books, like from so many different libraries, so many different sources. Swamiji collects and compiles these traditional books to revive that back in its full-fledged, in its full glory, to revive every aspect of this in its full glory.
All these are Swamiji's personal collection.
And here we can see how exactly does the stone deities work happen. We can see our team of sannyasis under Swamiji's guidance going and identifying the best stones for sculpting, right from teaching which are the male stones, which are the female stones, as per Agamas, how it is supposed to be done. Every step of the way, Swamiji himself personally micromanages and does it. Here is the deification process. Here we can see the so many deities that are made from Nithyananda Sacred Arts University, which are made and shipped to so many temples across the world. These deities sit in Toronto, these deities sit in Seattle, Los Angeles, in so many different places around the world, not just in US, right from Australia, almost every continent. Here we can see the restoration of the best stones collected from old temples. This is another important aspect because today we have so many hundreds of temples destroyed. These destroyed, the remains are left as ruins. People do not even understand the value of these sculptures, which stand the test of time, which has stood the test of time, a witness to the history for thousands of years. And we are losing all of this very, very fast. Many times, these temple deities, the pillars, all of these are thrown in the dump yard. People not understanding the value of this. Swamiji has taken the responsibility to collect these architecture, collect these pieces, pillars, to revive them so that we can make them stand up back again as a Hindu temple, bringing it back to its full glory. And the thousands of unique deities that have been made are made exactly as per agamas, and these deities that are made are sent to temples around the world. You can see here in Kailasa, Los Angeles, we can see the deities of Nataraja, Shivagami, we can see Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva, Kapila, Swamiji, we can see Venkateshwara, Rajarajeshwari, Ganesha. Each of these that deities are carved exactly as per agamas. Here's a fun fact for all of you. Did you know our agamas describe exactly what measurement you should use? You cannot use a random like our current measurements that we are having today.
We do not have actually the Sacred Arts University campus, a huge campus where Swamiji is having each of these works happening. And if you see, you will not find any rulers or any modern machinery, modern measuring equipments over there. Swamiji is making all of these completely traditional. Even now, a traditional method of calculating the proportions is done using the palm, like a coconut leaf or a palm leaf.
Every bit of this, every picture that you're all seeing behind is a testimony to Swamiji's commitment to reviving Hinduism in all its glory for humanity. Every bit that we are seeing, every bit of the pictures, whether we are seeing how Swamiji himself goes to the quarry, sees the type of stone that we are picking up, Swamiji micromanages, monitors how these deities are carved, ensures end to end it is done as per agamas, and many places where these temples are destroyed. Today, the temples that once stood as a glorious witness to the thousands of years of our history has been destroyed, left to ruins with nobody to care for it. Swamiji is protecting and collecting these different ruins from different places to revive them and restore its glory back to it. Here we can see one example, Kailasa, Los Angeles temple. And next here we can see the Kailasa's Malaysia Nithyanandeshwara Hindu temple. This is Kailasa, Malaysia. And here we can see the Panchaloha deities. And the small picture that you are seeing is the Yantreshwara, the Spatika Linga. Every bit of it is done exactly as per Agama. And here's another fun fact for all the viewers that are watching us. Did you know every temple, like for example, this is Kailasa, Houston. And Swamiji has envisioned for this temple to be the like the Kalahasti for the west, and where a place where all the Navagraha rituals, the entire revival based on Navagraha should happen. And here you can see the temple, every ritual that is conducted to the main deity of this temple happens exactly as per Kalahasti. Similarly, the Seattle has been given the vision of being the Chidambaram of the West. Whether it is the deity, the rituals done to the deity, the abhishekams that is done to the main deity, everything is done as per the agamas, the source temple. Here we can see Kailasa's Nithyanandeshwara Hindu temple in Houston, Adinam. And here is a few more pictures. You can see the different Siddhas and Venkateshwara, Paramashivalinga and Ganesha, Meenakshi, different deities. Each of these are made in Sacred Arts University and shipped around the world to different places. Here we can see Nataraja and we can see Durga, we can see Annapurani. This is Pratyangira Narasimha, Saraswati, Dakshinamurti, and this Dakshinamurti is hand carved by Swamiji himself.
And all the YouTube viewers, Nithyananda Ma, Helena Martinez, Ma Suvirananda, and Ma Shanbhagavali Reddy. Yes, you all can also keep posting here how you feel when you see this kind of revival that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been doing.
How do you feel when you see, when most of us, all of us, actually, firstly, none of the Hindus are made aware of the Holocaust that we went through, the destruction that has happened, and many times their history is distorted and misrepresented to us. That's the first thing. Second thing, even to the little amount of Hindus that know about this destruction, we are only told about all this destruction that has happened. But if there are some of us who really want to do something about it, we do not know what we as individuals can do. But here Swamiji is not just speaking about it, but Swamiji has taken the responsibility, revived it, and showed it to us. Here Swamiji has walked his talk. He has done the work and revived, restored this. Today, the Hindu temples are standing in so many places around, in so many cities, in so many countries around the world. Every bit of it is done exactly as per the Agamas. All these source temples, the exact traditions that are followed, every Brahmotsavam that is conducted, you all can see here. You can see the alankar that is done to Bhagavan Kalabhairava, the picture that you're seeing towards your right, and Bhagavan Venkateshwara, the pictures that you're seeing towards your left. The alankaram that is done is different. You can see the Kalabhairava is having the flower alankaram and kavacham, whereas Venkateshwara is having the entire Tomala Seva done and the type of jewelry that are put. You can see the difference. Swamiji takes the references from the Agamas for every deity. Minute details, how the jewelry is supposed to be designed, which height should it be, how exactly it should come. Everything is followed as per the source temples. Here we can see Venkateshwara. We can see the deities. These are the 63 Nayanmars and Siddhas. And here we can see the deities getting carved at the Nithyananda Sacred Arts University and waiting to be shipped around the world. This is the Yantreshwara Linga. And here we can see more of these stonework. These are all deities still in progress. After these deities are carved exactly as per the Agamas, it is energized, the Prana Pratishta is done, and then it is shipped to our temples around the world. And the next is the revival of sheet work. So the first part we saw is about granite work, how the stone deities are carved. The next is the revival of how exactly the metal deities, the metal deities and carvings should be done. technical glitch. So here, next what we are going to be seeing is the revival of the sheet work and the metal work. How did this start? This began all the way back when Swamiji was merely 10 years old. A 10-year-old young boy. What were you doing when you were 10 years old? Probably all of us would have been going to school,
Can you
learning new things.
Actually, and remember what you were doing when you were 10 years old. What were you doing? Just take a moment and leave a comment in the comment section. Even all the participants who are sitting in the MahaParamashivoham program, all of you also can come and comment. I just wanted to hear from all of you. When you were 10 years old, what was it that you were doing?
Come on, all of you. I can see many of you sitting with a wide smile. Please go ahead and share with us. When you were 10 years old, what do you think, was your life like? Busy going to school, trying to catch up with your homeworks, and trying to spend time with your friends, and giving that little time in between for your favorite hobbies like cricket or probably playing badminton and something like that. Here we can see when Swamiji was just 10 years old, we can see Swamiji's dedication, commitment, and the hard work that Swamiji has been putting in. This was just 10 years old in approximately around 1987, where Swamiji, during the Navaratri festival, had the darshan of Sri Chakra. And the moment Swamiji had the darshan of Sri Yantra, immediately Swamiji went and Swamiji inscribed the exact the Sri Chakra on the copper sheet. And you all should know, Sri Chakra is one of the most complicated geometrical figures.
And Swamiji did this using Swamiji's pre-monastic brother's compass. He just took a compass needle from his geometry box and did this with such a precision. It's very, very difficult to get that precise measurement and to get that precise way of drawing. And when Swamiji's Guru, his Vedanta and Tantra and Sri Vidya Guru, Mata Vibhutananda Puri, saw that impeccable reproduction of the Sri Chakra for young avatar, immediately she initiated him into the Sri Vidya worship. It is the worship of universal cosmic mother through the Sri Chakra. And now what you are seeing on the screen right now is the Sri Chakra that Swamiji himself had personally carved. You all can see this. You all can see the Sri Chakra now. This Sri Chakra that you all are seeing was personally hand carved by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Even to this day, you can go and check anywhere, like just go Google and see the image of Sri Chakra. You will see how complicated it is. And what you're seeing, this is what Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, when he was just 10 years old, carved this in a thin copper sheet using a compass.
And this is how the revival of the metal work kick-started. And now this is standing as a huge segment in the Nithyananda Sacred Arts University, carving tons of metal deities exactly as per Agama. What Swamiji started when he was just 10 years old, to this day, Swamiji has revived it in that full-fledged manner. And Kailasa's Department of Sacred Arts is reviving, restoring, and doing these deities exactly as per Agamas. Here we can see few of the many sheet works which are in progress, right from doing kavachams. Kavachams are the metal and sheet armors for the deities. And then we can see the chariots, the prabhavalis being made, the wheels for the chariots, all of these work being made in the Sacred Arts University. There are different types of sheet works, brass sheet work, the silver sheet work, and the gold sheet work. Here we can see the prabhavalis being made. Here we can see the Dvajastambhas, which was made in the Nithyananda Sacred Arts Universities, right from procuring, measuring, planning, making, shipping, end to end. Swamiji's vision is, if a passionate Hindu comes up and says, Swamiji, I want to build a temple, we should provide to him end to end. We just need a person who is ready to do it. And Swamiji is completely providing end to end all the needs and requirements to build that temple. And here we can see some more of the sheet work. I request every one of you to post. Take a minute and post. What do you feel how do you feel when you see it? See, when we say Swamiji is reviving Kailasa today, every one of us sitting here, we are all proud Hindus to see, oh my God, we have a Hindu nation which Swamiji is reviving for us. But how did this happen? It is not overnight. It is not like some 100 people decided, got together and revived it. No. From his birth, from his young age, it is this single person. Of course, Swamiji is an avatar, but in his human body, from his young age, his commitment, his hard work, unwavering dedication to reviving this mission and vision is what stands as Kailasa. Today, if you are enjoying these glories of Hinduism, if you are able to manifest powers, if so many of you rose your hand saying, you went to temple, you visited Kailasas, one of the Kailasas around the world, it has happened because of the sacrifice that Swamiji made, because of his dedication and commitment to stand up despite all the attacks, despite all the persecution. Sacred Arts is just one wing of Kailasa. But just this one wing, we can see the dedication and the effort and energy that Swamiji is putting into this. Understand, if you are resonating with this, if you feel like, oh my God, from his 3 years old to this day, Swamiji is working for this, I should definitely be a part of it. If your inner voice is clicking with this, if you feel like there's something that you need to do about it, go ahead, sign up to be part of this grand revival. Do not miss being a part of this. Take a step, because your one step is going to make a difference, not just for you, for your generations down the lane. Because history is going to remember you as a person who stood up, who volunteered to be a founding father or a founding mother of Kailasa. And 7 generations down the lane, your children, their grandchildren are all going to remember you with pride for your decision of standing up for Hinduism, for Kailasa. The link is projected to you all here. Please take a few minutes to go ahead and sign up. What we have shown you all is just one glimpse of it. We still have a lot. We still have the revival of how the marble deities are made, how the Panchaloha deities are made, how the Navapashana deities are made. There's a lot to speak. But now, in the interest of time, we request every one of you here to take a few minutes. Whoever is resonating with this cause, if you feel like, I have to be part of this glorious revival, I have to do something about it. As a Hindu, if I don't take responsibility, who else will? This is the time, this is the high time that you stand up. And all we need to do is become part of Kailasa. Actually, I should say, if you are still single and if you are still in your youth, sannyas is the best decision that you can make, because the standing up for the revival of Kailasa, being part of this revival, is like the best decision of your life. And if you are married and if you have children, send your children to the Nithyananda Gurukul so that they can learn the real Hinduism. They can learn the glorious past of what they belong to. They can understand the sacrifices that their ancestors have made for these temples, for these remnants of Hinduism to still stand. And go ahead, if you want to be part of this temple revival, in particular, if you're really clicking about the sacred arts, the sculptures, the deities, the making of jewelries, the making of the artifacts of Hinduism, if you click with this particular aspect, go ahead, you can sign up to become a Sarvajna Pita Yajaman, and you can choose to contribute to this temple revival aspect of Kailasa, and you can make your contribution towards that. You all can take a few minutes and go ahead and sign up.
And the way the sheet work has been done, all of you can see these pictures all these are done in different aspects. And even to this day, continuously, whether it is doing the kavachams or it is to do these yantras, mandalas, all of these are done and it is sent around the world, across the world for various of Kailasa temples.
This is just one glimpse, and we all were able to catch a glimpse of one part, one fragment of what Kailasa's Nithyananda Sacred Arts University does. And there's a lot more to share.
Yeah, and actually we have not even entered into the work fully yet, because and tomorrow we are actually going to be seeing more in depth as to how these deities are made, how does the whole process take place in Kailasa's Nithyananda Sacred Arts University actually happen. How each thing, whether it is the metal casting work that is done, or the carving that is done, or how each of these are measured, everything in detail. And actually, we have not even touched the humongous work that Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has done through this Nithyananda Sacred Arts University yet. We just tried presenting a brief to you all. But if this inspired you, if you feel as a Hindu, you really want to do something now, go ahead. Just go and sign up now. Express what you feel passionate about. What is it that inspires you? Understand? Swamiji has done all of this despite all the persecution and attacks. Swamiji has been tirelessly working on this. If you want to be a part of this, there's a clarion call for all of you. And tomorrow we are going to be going in depth about how the process of deity making is done. And we will also be sharing with all of you tomorrow about a very unique process of deification, which is way more advanced than the Egyptian mummification and a technique to be immortal. So that's what we are going to be sharing with all of you tomorrow. If you found this video helpful and inspiring, take a moment to hit the share button and share it with all your friends. And do not forget to click the like. And also, if you have not subscribed yet to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe and click the bell icon so that you will be notified for more and more such amazing content directly to know about Hinduism.
So we thank you all for taking your time and watching this video. And now to all the MahaParamashivoham participants, very shortly, we are going to be moving to the darshan. So all the viewers, I know all of us are eagerly awaiting to have Swamiji's darshan. All of you that have joined us for the YouTube live and on Facebook, if you want to catch a glimpse and avail these exclusive sessions with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, sign up to MahaParamashivoham so that you can avail these live sessions with Swamiji, and you can have an opportunity to sit and receive the blessings from Swamiji. So you can take a minute to sign up, and we thank you all for joining our live stream. Nithyananda.